Adventures of Tintin, dude.
Welcome everyone to our new podcast. We're gonna give this a try. It's Podcast Game Episode 1.
Why is that a good
Don't know what
title?
we're gonna talk about.
Hold on.
I know, right?
Hold on.
Like, why is that actually a good title, right? So today we're just gonna play. We're trying to play like mundane games, or like not really mundane, but like just gaming. While
you know, what would be a good game to have in the background would be like Stardew Valley or something.
Oh, that would be a good one. Or like really Minecraft.
Or Minecraft, yeah.
Like
Minecraft would be good too.
Anyway, well today we're gonna do Apex Legends because I don't feel like switching over. As you know, it is us three idiots: Villager 395, Underman, and Gem Dragon. Bumbling morons, and so therefore we're like, why not just start a podcast like any other? Like that, I feel like it's like the male
like
thing
any
to do,
other
right?
group
Just
of
to go out and start a
bumbling
podcast. I mean, when you're bored, you just start a podcast as guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how it all starts. I don't really know what to talk about. Clear your mind. Oh, I guess we can, like, once it starts, so usually we were planning on starting a podcast called The Spiel of Speculation, but that fell through. So instead we just figured, hey...
Because no one wanted to do it.
Yeah, no one really wanted to do it. But, so I figured one of the starting debates that we were actually going to have on that podcast was whether cheese should be bitten into, like string cheese should be like peeled or should it be bitten into.
You know,
Here's
I've
the
done a lot of
answer. We
soul
don't need a
searching.
debate. Okay, the
I've done a lot of
answer
soul
is that if
searching,
you
and I
bite
realized
into
that you
string
can
cheese, you're a
bite into.
psychopath.
No, I think you know, as you grow older,
Psychopath.
you become less like kind of restrictive in your thinking. You're like, you become more open to these ideas, such as taking a big bite of string cheese.
It is string cheese.
Sometimes you don't want to string it. Sometimes you want to big bites.
No,
I'm just saying.
No, if you want a big bite of cheese, just take a square and bite
Yeah,
out
but
of that.
sometimes you
Not
don't
string
have
cheese.
a block of cheese, and you see string cheese right there, and you're like, man, I'm feeling a big bite of
Get
cheese.
shredded cheese out of your fridge, my guy.
Oh.
But what if you don't have it? What if you don't have shredded cheese?
Then why would
telling
you
me
have
you don't have
string
shredded
cheese if you don't
cheese?
even have
Well,
shredded? Come on.
who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe you just haven't been eating.
String cheese is like a luxury type of cheese.
Dude,
Yeah, exactly.
it could
buy
be
it,
just
you
around the
buy it.
house.
You buy it.
It could be
for
just
a little-
around the
little
house
snack.
and stuff, and just eat it. Oh,
Oh, is he dying?
Some people are.
oh no, I've been gunned down.
Oh no.
You guys are way over there.
Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave the game now.
Oh. Alright.
Well, okay.
Just leaving the game.
Guys, just like, listen to me. Sometimes, you know, you don't want a small amount of cheese. You want a big amount at a time. So you take a big bite of string
Your
cheese.
logic is so flawed.
Yeah,
Dude, I mean,
I don't.
who makes the rules of eating string cheese? Like,
I don't know. Maybe
Maybe
make
for the
some
difference.
string cheese.
maybe.
I mean, it's like, when you have a pet, like, you know, it's like, you know, certain things are done a certain way, right? It's like, you know, you take a marker. It's called a marker because you mark things with it. You don't go and eat a marker, or you don't go and like just cut paper with a marker, because that's not what a marker is meant for. It's meant to mark things
But that
up.
actually harmed you.
String
By
cheese.
marker.
It's
String
in the
cheese.
name.
You bite into it.
Yeah, I
you
think
die.
biting into a
Plus,
marker is
there's-
a little bit of a different level than biting into
And plus,
string cheese, to be
there's
fair.
many different like
I'm trying to think of a
snacks
good
that have been
analogy.
created throughout the years. When you wrap like salami around string cheese
Okay.
and you eat that.
Okay.
So if you do stuff like that, like that's okay, right? You wrap like meat around the string cheese and take a big bite into it.
Okay. So that's like the one time I could like understandably say like biting into string cheese, because it is literally impossible to string cheese when it is wrapped in meat.
Exactly.
And then like cook, but like any other
When
way,
is
And it's a
string
good
cheese
snack.
wrapped in
cannot-
meat?
Have you never got that?
Have you never done that? Have you never
No.
done that?
Dude, it's like a
Dude, it's
big
delicious.
thing. It's so good.
Yeah. And it's like the only time I could say you could like eat
You know-
bite into a string cheese is because it's physically impossible to string it. But on any other occasion, you should never bite into a string cheese.
Okay, I get that. I actually agree. I agree on that. Because like that's kind of my main like the main reason why I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Is because, you know, you can eat it like that when there's meat around it or something.
I know, but I'm saying, but like that's like a one like case scenario, right? It's like the way you're sounding it was like it's a normal everyday thing. No, you don't just like
No,
you don't
no,
just
okay.
walk into your fridge and like I'm gonna eat this string cheese. Let me bite into it like a lunatic.
No, okay, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, you get that. Alright.
Yeah.
And there's like other.
But like,
there's
yeah,
other,
so
like,
if
cardinal
it's just string cheese, then yeah, you can just bite into it. But,
I'd
if
say-
it's like
I'd say there's, like,
wrapping
a-
it and stuff, it's fine.
I guess I'd say there's a lot of cardinal sins when it comes to food. Like I would say like pineapple on pizza is a cardinal sin.
No. Y'all think
I've been-
pineapple on pizza's bad. Wait till you hear.
Don't say watermelon. Do not say
Watermelon
watermelon.
on pizza.
Oh gosh, dude, you cannot just casually drop that every time that we talk about pizza. Every time you're like, dude, you can't.
It's so
Wait,
cursed.
why though? But why?
There's no. Dude, it's like putting like apple juice on top of your pizza. You just don't do it.
It's
Basically,
so
watermelon-
bad.
Watermelon
Yeah, but
is like
people do put
a
apples
juice
on
of the
pizza.
food.
Like apple slices, I've seen that. But I feel like that's okay. because
No,
it's
you're a
like
maniac.
A little bit of a.
You're a maniac. If you put apple slices
Yeah.
on
Apple
pizza.
time slice does not equal pizza.
No.
Like
Neither does watermelon
What I'm talking about.
or pineapple.
we're not. I mean, we're not trying to.
Dude,
we're not trying to equate
Wingman's a
watermelon.
sniper now. What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, you're now seeing the other like
We're already in the next.
Yeah.
idiocracy that is going on.
They
with
made a
Apex
few
Legends
changes
right now.
that made
No,
no
what
sense.
is Apex doing, man? It's
Who
changing.
knows?
The fence is complete.
This doesn't even make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what to tell you. Then you're right.
I feel like
because it
I feel like
doesn't make any
Apex
sense.
is like doing the YouTube thing where they just add updates for no reason.
Yeah.
It's like there's no reason to change this. It's fine.
I'm
You
sure,
could've
like,
kept
just
it
because
heavy.
something is good doesn't mean it can be improved.
Exactly.
But, like, in but in
Not broke,
Apex's
don't fix
case,
it.
I mean, I'm saying, like, just because something isn't broken doesn't mean it can't be improved, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, that's the point of, like, if you want to keep, like, your stuff, like,
Oh,
up to
there's
date,
lots of
fresh.
stuff that can be improved. They just happen to focus on the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like making Pathfinder unthick.
Pathfinder was
I don't get
fine
that.
when he was thick.
Like,
They
I
didn't
feel like
need
we
to
should
be
update like
big.
a.
You know, I'm not really complaining about the fact, like, you know, I wasn't like, oh yeah, Pathfinder needs to be thick. I'm just confused.
The
It's
only
confusing to
people,
me.
the only way that can be problematic is that like there's probably a small group of people with that who got holding over that. Just a small
Oh yeah,
group. Of,
a
like,
few
you
people
should
took
not
it too
change
far,
something because a
and to
small
avoid
group of people
lawsuits, they
don't like
probably
it.
changed it.
No way, dude. What
But I don't
lawsuit
wa-
would
but
you
I
get?
wanna-
What
but now I'm
lawsuit
curious-
would you
I
get?
don't know.
Yeah, like who would sue someone for making a robot?
Package being delivered.
Look,
I mean, like,
I really
if you,
don't know.
I mean, like, it's all based on the interpretation of a person, you know. Like, if you say something, like, you know, like if I
It's
say, like,
slander,
I like
though.
to play with. I know, but it's like if I were to say I like to play with balls, you know, like if you interpretate, you can interpretate that in two
In what
different
way?
ways. Like I like playing with basketballs, right? Like I like playing with sports, as in sports, I like to play with balls. Or you can like make it something inappropriate, you know?
Mhm.
Like that's totally dependent on your interpretation there.
Stop
Like,
laughing.
Sorry,
You're making it worse.
You're just saying
Yeah,
it
you're
over
making-
and over again. You're like,
And
I just
and
really like
therefore
playing
you're
with balls.
I mean, you see, and you're proving my point.
You're the
So
problem
funny.
here.
See, it's the people that are the problem. Like just because like you interpret something wrong doesn't mean that you need to change it though.
Exactly. Like, I can interpret the fact that you like playing with balls in the wrong way, but like, you don't need to change the fact that you like playing with balls. It's not.
That's the wrong clip to take out of context. I'll be honest.
I already off to a great start.
It's like, it doesn't harm anybody. Like, there's no benefit to taking away the thickness of Pathfinder. Like, nothing to...
I mean, there's like a lot of, but there's like this happens like all the time though, like in like pop culture and stuff like that, like where like people just like change something because like, oh, it was wrong. I mean, not really wrong, but like,
Yeah, like the
because like people
Sandbot
have
for
differing
Samsung.
opinions. Yeah, exactly. But like that one I can understand because like anytime you would look up that character, like that person, like all you'd see was like just like the things the internet did to that character. So it's like I understand that one. But like when you read like for example when you read like classical literature and stuff like that, I hear people say like, oh, that's racist. And I'm like, well, that was just the time. You know, it's important to read it even though it was racist. It's important to learn and read about that.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
think, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
Like, you know,
I get
to
that.
call them like, you know, when you read literature, like, it teaches us. Like, you know, does that mean that I'm racist by reading To Call a Mockingbird and it says the N-word a million times? No.
Yes.
No.
It's a book.
Exactly.
I'm not actively
And plus, like, the book is about racism too, so I think that's kind of
Gonna
Yeah,
teach you to hate.
No. You don't teach you to hate.
Just no.
Did he get the wrong message from how to kill Malcolm?
I think he got the... Yeah, he got the wrong message.
Dude, you got it.
He was
Dude,
not
you
paying
just-
attention in literature class.
You would not pay attention in class at all, dude. You just... What?
Yeah, and then also it was like kind of like just like the language at the time too, you know? Like
Exactly.
that wasn't considered like taboo like it is today. Like it can be considered taboo. Like it also depends on where you live too nowadays. Like in certain areas that's not taboo at all. Like that's like a word they throw around.
Exactly.
So like you know,
Like, I have a friend named Eli in my Into the Great Works class. And like he was telling me about how like he lives in a small town up in New York. And like they're really, really racist there. But it's normal because they're so like separated from like society, I guess? Or that's
nah,
just a small bubble.
I wouldn't say
that's
I
kinda
don't
like
think I don't think society is the right word. I think it's popular media.
Yeah. Probably like they're so separated. They're so like in their own bubble, in their own like culture and stuff that like they don't really learn that like stuff.
That they're
like
just
that.
racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't think it's the fact that they're racist. I just think it's like because they're like racism. Like the definition of racism is to hate someone depending on their
No,
race,
they were
right?
they're very racist because the friends tell me how like his parents run.
He's like, don't get it confused, guys. They're racist.
Runs a store.
No, like they really were.
Yeah,
like,
and
they
then,
really
like,
were racist.
they-
Okay.
one of them had like got married to a black woman, and so the entire town boycotted the restaurant because
jeez,
someone
okay,
after
wow.
was black. So you know they.
Wow, that's like
Yeah.
that's absolutely. I'll be honest. That boggles my mind to think that people think that way.
It's because they
Like,
they live in such a bubble, right? Like because they have no.
Yeah,
one,
they-
it's normal for them. They're taught that. From
Yeah,
their
but I-
parents,
and I-
from their parents.
And I think so, and so that's a point to where like you know like that's bad. Like that's honestly like really bad that people do that.
Oh,
But,
yeah,
like,
it
but
is.
what I'm saying is like we're not saying that we support racism. That's not what we're saying at all. Like not even the slightest. What
No,
we're saying
no,
is that based on like you know based on different areas is different like no that's not what I'm trying. I'm trying to think what we're trying to say. But we're not supporting racism.
Oh, there's another person.
Okay, that person I'm healing up.
Angry fans.
Just gonna put down a little.
Uh-oh.
Hey, that really sucks.
I downed the
Nice plan. I'm healing.
and another one down.
Uh-oh. Stop. You keep going. Why did you just let him do that?
Dude, like there's a delay. So like I let go. It's pretty bad.
That was close.
Be careful. There's a
Squad.
I thought he survived.
We can restore the circuits.
Yes, you didn't. Me.
I'm gonna walk away over here.
I'm helping. Cover me.
Yeah, so what we're saying is that literature, even though it was racist, is still important to learn.
Yeah.
That's what our point was.
Because it's a product of its time. You still has a good lesson to be learned from it,
Yeah.
even with the flaws. Because like, if something
Yes,
has
exactly.
flaws, if you shouldn't just immediately discard like any message it has at all. Like you should still be
I mean,
willing
if,
to like,
if we're
listen.
yeah, and if you're gonna discard anything based on its flaws, then that means like you shouldn't be really like that means we shouldn't do anything ever.
Yeah,
based on that
because
logic.
humans are flawed. That's just who we are. We humans we make mistakes all the time. That's how we are. But like if you like discriminate against knowledge because it's from like a bad source or something, or it's a flawed source, then you won't learn anything because every source is flawed.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our 2 cents on literature and educating yourself, regardless of what situations you're in. I think we could have said that in the best possible way possible without being too controversial.
It's fine.
People are gonna literally be like, "You guys are racist for talking about literature."
and then I won't get
Guess
any
what?
comments.
You are the
Everyone will
problem.
I designed it to hurt
No.
anyone outside.
I said it.
I wouldn't.
I said it. No, they're the
Yeah, the
problem.
problem is talking. The problem is us
We are the
talking
problem.
about the problem that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Well,
No, the
Well,
problem
maybe
is
not
other
here.
people
Maybe
thinking
I'm wrong
that
because
we are
I'm
the problem
racist.
by talking about the problem.
I'm just racist.
Yes.
Period.
Is that enough
so-
for you?
Feel that high, yeah?
Yeah, that's enough for. Oh no! Oh
No,
no!
no, 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 no,
We're
no,
gonna
no,
get
no,
stuck
no.
in here.
Time to go.
That's
time
not
to
good.
go.
Wait, hold up. This is a second. Yeah. So, fun times in the world of the podcast.
Yeah.
Nothing like hitting on politics, string cheese, and movies.
You got everything.
Movies. Okay, so I watched Thor,
Let's go.
God and Thunder. You know what?
Okay, Love and Thunder. I haven't seen it yet.
Love and
What's your
Thunder?
opinion?
I think it's definitely a mediocre film. It's like
It's
like
Wow.
have
a
you
lot
watched
of the
those-
Marvel movies right now.
Have you watched it? Like, have you watched it? Like a mediocre comedy, like basically almost all comedy movies. Like how poorly made
Yeah.
they are and stuff. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like a really
that my
poorly made
goodness.
film.
Okay, coming from you, that's a lot,
Incoming
because you
artillery.
say every movie is great.
Silence.
Yeah, that movie's not good.
Planting
That
fences.
movie's definitely just not good.
Fence
But
placed.
I feel like it's like people act like it's like the worst movie ever made when The Room exists, but
Oh, that's not good.
like it's like
That's very bad.
it's like in the context of the MCU and the character, it's really bad. But if you like think of it in a vacuum without knowing all the other movies, then it's like definitely a D movie.
Well, but
Oh,
that's
crap.
the thing about MCU movies is you're not supposed to think of them in a vacuum now because every single movie is connected. So that's part of the problem. They've got too many strands to try and connect.
Oh no, I'm going away. I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's good. Smart.
Heating up, hold on.
Don't worry about me.
Opponent over here.
Healing up. Just gonna.
They're trying to shoot me through the window.
Charging my shields.
Oh, they're picking up the teammate. Dude, these. Alright.
I can't really do much. I'm not gonna lie.
Now you good?
Gonna
Up and out.
res you. Forgot what I was saying.
You're,
Yeah, Thor God and Thunder is definitely a movie. I wouldn't recommend it,
won't recommend it. Wow.
but it's not the
Crap,
worst
what was
experience
that?
of my life. So,
Okay, the worst experience
What
of your
was
life could be
that?
watching Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness.
yeah, that. No! This would be a controversial take.
Oh, that was a
I still like the movie. I still think the movie's not that bad. I think it's definitely a C-tier movie, but I think it's definitely better than Thor
Okay,
Love
here's
and
the
Thunder.
thing. That movie is a D-tier movie, and let me tell you why. Wanda's motivations make no sense. Doctor Strange was sidelined in his own movie and made a complete idiot. Every iteration of Doctor Strange that we see in the movie paints him as the villain and the bad guy when he's supposed to be the hero.
You know-
he's also supposed to be really smart, but he's painted as the idiot. And also, the main character, America Chavez, just shows up, and her powers make absolutely no sense. Like,
I still don't
it's
know what
stupid.
Hope Powers is, dude. I still.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I
That's the
no idea
problem.
what. It's just a character that was there. I
Well,
guess.
that's just because they did a
A plot
crappy job
device.
explaining it, yeah.
Yeah, and then,
I don't know. I think I still think it's a
Illuminati
fun movie though.
it's not a fun movie. That is a horror film through and through, and it sucks.
It's not really that scary.
good.
Really. Like I think it's fun.
wasn't.
There's fun
Tried
message.
to be
There's fun
It was
stuff.
just gory. It was a stupid gory movie that made no sense.
There wasn't even that much gore. There's like 2 gore scenes.
My guy, a dude's head exploded.
Yeah,
like and
but,
a
like,
giant
it's Marvel,
monster got its
so it
eye
wasn't even
ripped,
that
like got
gory.
stabbed with a pillar and then
I
ripped
don't know.
out.
I watched like Brightburn and like the.
I mean,
I
like,
don't know, but
in
we're talking about
context,
but
it
we're
wasn't
talking the
that
context
bad.
of the
Like,
yeah in
as far as
context with
all
other
the stuff
horror
goes,
movies
it
it's
wasn't
not that bad. But in the
Yeah.
context of the MCU, that's pretty bad.
yeah,
yeah.
in the context of MCU, yeah, it's pretty
Like,
bad.
where you
Well, it's a
definitely weren't
dumb move.
expecting that.
Yeah, from the even from the trailers. Like if I went to the trailers knowing it was a horror movie, I think I would have it would have been a lot more easy to swallow.
Oh, so,
I think,
okay, the
but-
trailers painted a totally different story than the actual movie.
Exactly.
That's another
Exactly.
issue.
That's
Because
what-
from
that's
the
what pisses
trailer,
me off.
the story I got was, okay, Doctor Strange is traveling through the multiverse and he meets an evil Doctor Strange and they fight it out. Okay, that sounds cool. That's
That's-
not at
that's
all
exactly what I
the
thought it
movie
was. That's exactly what I thought it was gonna be too. Like that's
And I was like, oh,
like,
he's gonna
and-
get help from Wanda or something. That's cool. Not at all!
Yeah, and then like I said, Wanda's motivations in that movie make absolutely no sense
They
at all
call me the
whatsoever.
eye
Okay,
of
yeah.
the storm.
All those points really
fight
good,
makes
but
sense,
I
it's
still think
just
it's a
like-
fun movie.
It was
No,
weak,
she just
it's
turns
like,
into a
come on.
murder bot after like feeling guilty for enslaving entire people, and then immediately becomes a murder bot and like doesn't explain like that.
No,
like, doesn't do a
she-
proper job
It
explaining.
Went
was
on
kind
a
of that
rampage
at the
because
end
she
of the
wanted
show.
her kids back.
Party time.
Yes, I understand that, but like the reason why, and like if you look it up, like it's the reason why she does this and becomes so like gruesome over it, especially after like the whole thing was about like the whole fact that she like let go of Westview is because she's okay with like dealing with the loss of her family, the fact that they lost Vincent, right? And so
Yeah,
when
and then
they
it
did-
turns
the
out
movie
she
did a-
wasn't okay. She wanted her kids back.
Well, no, what it was is the dark
Yeah,
hole
but-
corrupted her. But the movie
Yeah,
didn't
that's-
explain that.
Yeah, it did.
at
It did.
all.
Well,
It's like 3 times.
Barely at
like
all.
3 times. I
Yeah,
think
no,
that's
they
pretty
didn't say it
clear.
explicitly. No, it wasn't at all.
Because like even
It
I
felt
do
like
when
it came out of left field.
Yeah, I didn't get
No,
that
it
from the
truly
movie
came
at
out of left
all.
field. Exactly.
Yeah.
They mentioned it 3 times in passing that the dark hold corrupts, but they didn't say it specifically that Wanda is corrupted.
Well,
You know,
they
they
hinted
tried
at
to
the
paint
end
it.
of like the post-credit scenes of the WandaVision stuff. At the very end, like see like oh
Yeah, a
she's
little bit.
sleeping.
That's what I'm saying. You had to
Oh,
watch
she's
WandaVision
sleeping.
for it to make sense, and then even then, WandaVision was like, here's all this character development that we're gonna get in WandaVision, and then throw it out the window. In the next
Yeah,
movie.
and then we're gonna wait.
Yeah.
And not even get any payoff on that at the end of it. Like, of her feeling guilty of what she did. She's just like, I'm gonna die now.
Yeah. And now she's like, okay, I'm gonna go on a rampage to get my kids back. And oh, now I realize murder is bad, so I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying.
It makes
I think
no
it's a fun
sense.
movie. It's not like
It's not a fun
terrible.
movie.
It's not a fun movie.
But
It's not
no,
a
it's
fun
fun. It's fun. I enjoyed
not.
it. There's
It's
cool
not.
magic.
Okay,
there's
here's
cool
an example
scenes.
of a fun movie that's C tier. Ant-Man. Ant-Man is a C tier movie. It is not the best movie
The
ever
original?
made, but it is the original.
Yeah,
It is not
yeah.
A,
Okay.
it's,
Yeah,
Ant-Man
yeah,
is a
yeah.
fun movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ant-Man's fun.
it's
Yeah,
but
okay,
it's
okay.
fun though.
Yeah,
It's
a
fun.
fun
It's a
one.
C tier movie. It's a heist movie. Everyone's done, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's super
you know,
fun.
I'll watch Ant-Man over and over again. I would
Yeah.
never go back and watch Doctor Strange:
Someone
Multiverse of
eliminated
Madness
the
unless like
champion.
someone made me,
You
or
know-
like I was on a date.
You know what? That's a bad point. That's a bad because I also wouldn't watch that movie again.
Yeah. Would you watch it
Exactly.
again? No. That wasn't
No,
fun.
no, I wouldn't.
Then it wasn't a good movie. If you do not want to watch it again, it was not a good movie. A good movie wants you coming back and thirsty for more to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Like
I
a good
I just
movie.
I feel like
and
there's
the-
like some fun scenes in the movie, so it wasn't
don't
like
get me wrong, there are some-
I didn't leave the movie feeling terrible. Like I just
I
left
did.
the
I
movie
left that
feeling like
movie-
whatever.
I did. Yeah, I left that movie feeling terrible because I felt like a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the jokes, I really liked. Like out of context, like what is happening, like a lot of those really funny scenes, I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
But then like when you go back and you rewatch it in the context of the movie, it's like it's like, oh, you know, we just watched like some like your favorite superheroes get turned into spaghetti, you know, and then it's like, and then we're like, oh yeah, funny scene. It's like it felt undercut, you know. It's like they mostly like these jokes
That's kind of
didn't
funny.
hit hard because
The world's smallest man decided to reach out like a spaghetti
yeah, I know, like that's like for me, I'm like I didn't like you know those jokes were undercut for me because it's like, oh, you know, like here comes Mr. Fantastic, one of the coolest heroes, you know, one of the smartest
Guy
men
who
alive.
comes way out
And
of
then,
The
like,
smallest man alive.
Yeah.
Literally
No,
the
no,
smallest.
Tony Stark is actually the star. Is actually the star.
Ultimate ready.
Oh well,
Well, he's
yeah,
dead.
but like in the comics, his Reed is the smallest.
Oh really? He's not in the MCU. He is anyway.
Yeah, MCU it's Tony Stark because they kind of like
But
buffed
he
his
died,
character.
so.
It
that's
made
who
made
you
him a
got.
better character. But
Oh, honestly, like people like love the MCU. Iron Man is way better than the
oh,
comics
it,
Iron Man.
it's so
Like,
much
a million.
better. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
much better, dude. Like I've been like watching videos of the comics.
that
and I'm
comics,
like, wow, I
jerk
can.
alcoholic.
No redeeming qualities. There's none.
Yeah, no, he has like zero redeeming qualities in the comics. Like he's
Yeah.
an alcoholic and he's like a horrible human
Yeah.
just all around.
But so like with the Doctor movie, why I'm saying it's like better than the film one is that the Doctor has some like fun scenes separated, right? Like some separated fun scenes, and the film has no fun scenes. It's boring. It's a boring
It
movie.
has no fun scenes. That's so
It's
It
a
has no
sad.
fun- so you're
so
telling-
boring movie. It's a super boring
Like it
movie.
did
It's not
it did a
fun.
complete like is it like trying too hard to be funny?
No,
Is that what it is?
it's I feel like they didn't even try to be funny. Like they made like some awkward humor jokes, but like it wasn't like Thor Ragnarok where they tried to be funny. Like I just
it
felt like they put
wasn't.
no
Thor
effort into the movie at
Ragnarok
all.
was a great movie.
I just
Oh, Thor
felt there's no
Ragnarok
effort.
also like that.
That was
I remember
awesome.
hearing like that. I remember hearing that Thor Ragnarok was also like for large portions was actually improv.
Oh, it was. I think
you know,
this
that
movie
also,
is
like,
not
really
interrupt,
helped.
but
Yeah, I don't think so too. I think they tried to hate what they did with like Thor Ragnarok, and from what it sounds like, and they just missed.
It just
you
didn't
know?
work. Yeah.
It just
Fair
didn't
enough.
land. Like like out of all the Thor movies, Thor Ragnarok is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Like that is some of the best moments in the MCU is from Thor Ragnarok,
Oh,
in my opinion.
yeah,
That's a
Thor
great-
Ragnarok's
I love the new-
surprisingly really good for no reason.
Yeah, so like and you know so hearing that Thor: Love and Thunder really isn't that great, like, you know, makes me sad a little bit, because it's like, you know, that was such a fun Thor movie, and I was really wanting more of that.
Yeah, me
you know?
too. Because one of the people said like Thor Love and Thunder was like trying too hard to be fun. I was like, okay, maybe I enjoy it. Like, you know, I watch some trashy comedy movies. This movie,
Oh, so you like Adam
it doesn't
Sandler?
feel funny at all. It doesn't feel funny at all.
Yo,
It's like they
Adam
haven't tried.
Sandler is overrated.
That's what I'm saying. He tries too hard to be funny. Also, there's people in that base.
I spotted
Yeah,
the
it's
enemy.
like the jokes don't even feel like jokes. It's just like, I don't know. It feels like a weird fan fiction romance movie, rather than a
Really?
comedy. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's.
the only
Man, I
jokes
don't know
I
why you're
remember
surprised. It's called.
the movie they tried to
Oh yeah,
do
Matisse. They
was,
said there's guys down there, my guy. Alright, well, we get you up, Matisse.
Fair enough.
like the jokes were
Just the two of us
basically
now.
just
I'll
Thor
try to keep us safe.
being pining over his own weapons, and the characters being weird. Like not vulgar jokes. The characters, like the absurdity of the characters enhanced. Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
we got a guy's got a sniper.
Oh.
Yeah, don't take
Whoa. Whoa. Never mind, that's grenades.
But yeah. Solo member, not funny,
Deployed.
Holy crap!
not good. It's a mediocre movie. That's pretty much all.
I have the
It's a very
benefit.
forgettable, mediocre movie.
Not what I want to hear.
Yep.
I had one job and I missed.
I really thought you hit him. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I thought I hit him too. I'll be honest, and I missed.
It just hit him hard enough, I guess.
you were dead center on him. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how that. I really,
like-
really looked like I hit him on my screen, but apparently I didn't.
Yeah, so definitely would recommend the movie. If you watch it, you, I don't know, fall asleep probably. it's disappointing.
So
Maybe.
that's
Not much
So-
happens.
yeah. So before we got into like the cheese, we were talking about the Adventures of Tintin, and we didn't really hit that on the podcast yet. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
was like So here's the thing. The
That was a
Adventures, before we
solid
get into, like
movie. I remember that
That's
being
that's
so
one of my favorite movies. Like, and a lot of people, I think it's solidly underrated. And here's the thing:
It
Adventures
is.
of Tintin was originally a comic book, and then was adapted to a TV show. Or it was flipped the other way around. But either way, then the movie came out, and the movie took the out of. I read all the comics, and I watched the entire TV show. There's like 3 seasons, and the TV shows were played out in parts. But they took out the best storyline, in my opinion, and made it into the movie. Like the story of the unicorn was actually told through how many different episodes? It was told through 4 different episodes of the Adventures of Tintin, and they turned it into a movie, which is the smartest move they could do. Because that was my favorite storyline, was that, and they totally set up making another movie, with the Adventures of Tintin. But that was a movie, and I honestly really loved it. It's a fun watch. And I would watch it again.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Adventures of...
Yeah, it's a great
Tintin.
movie. It's an animated
Yeah,
movie.
it's about a report. Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Yeah, and so it's about a reporter who teams up with this drunk pirate, drunk sailor, to find this lost treasure in the bottom. That's lost treasure that's hidden with this ship called
You're
the
playing
Unicorn.
in my backyard
And it's
now.
about them racing this guy named Red Araka to beat him to the treasure. It's really good, solid movie. There's a cute, adorable dog named Snowy in it. Who's honestly one of the best characters in the movie.
Of course, dog.
Oh, dude, I
When you
forgot
walk
that there's a
away
scene when
from
the
it.
dog gets drunk, dude.
What?
Do you remember that?
I don't.
Yeah, so there's a scene when like when he gets like trapped somewhere and it ends up to where like the dog drinks the rum instead of the sailor guy. I just can't remember names right now, and it's hurting my brain. Yeah, the dog gets drunk.
First blood. Countdown.
I'll get
You know.
drunk.
I'm assuming like that would have been unless I'm wrong, unless I'm like remembering something else.
I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty. It sounds like the kind of
I feel like it
funny,
happened.
bizarre thing that would happen in that film.
Yeah, exactly. But the movie was really good. But like
Okay.
another movie that so here's a movie from my childhood that I remember. Like I remember vividly that like I honestly really
30 seconds to
enjoyed.
enclosure.
Do you guys remember? So you guys knew Jumanji, right? Like
Yeah.
the one with the board game that comes to
that
life.
one's so good.
So John Favreau, like the director of the first Iron Man, right? And
Yeah.
Happy Hogan. So he
happy.
so John Favreau actually made a quote unquote sequel to Jumanji called Zathura. And so essentially what that
I
is.
saw that.
Yeah, so so if you've ever seen Zathura, Zathura is a movie where it's like Jumanji but space.
I feel like that sounds familiar.
You might have seen it.
Like,
oh
start
my
explaining
God,
it.
here's something that dates how old I am. I rented that movie from the library, and do y'all remember like the little, like plastic, yellow pull tabs that they had to take out of the DVD case so you could actually
Yes.
open the movie?
Yes, I do.
Oh
I
my
do know what you're talking
God.
about, yeah.
That is so old by now. Oh.
That is like no one would even know. Like probably like only like the. I guess people.
I
don't
doubt
know.
many people know what that is.
I didn't.
I remember that, dude.
I didn't really watch movies. when
Yeah,
I
that's
was
because you're a
younger.
child.
Okay.
Dang, no need to call it out like
Sorry,
that.
I was expecting to say I don't remember that, and like and I was gonna say that's because you're a child, but then you just say I didn't watch movies when you were younger, so it didn't land right.
Yeah, I spent most of my time like writing. That's the other-
Nerd.
Writing and
You know,
reading.
being productive.
Nerd. Didn't watch
No, I
movies all
was
day on the couch.
I was not
Nerd.
being productive. I was playing like make believe, but with writing.
There's a new kill
I
death.
still like.
So-
cool
Yeah, I
film
actually
and
went
stuff.
outside and played make believe. I didn't just write it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually
Well,
played
I-
Make Believe.
Well, I played and wrote. Like I used to have this like imaginary campaigns of things at like at the local park. Like,
Why do you make it sound like you're playing D&D?
No,
I
it's
was
just
about to
like-
say the exact same thing.
Because like I'll tell them to
The
make
word
them characters.
campaign just
Yeah, campaign is
immediately makes
D&D,
you
my
think of
guy.
D&D. Yeah.
Because I'll make
Yeah.
characters and I tell them to tell me the backstory and then we'll create like a story and act it out. And then
Okay, here's the thing. I did that
And
all
I,
the time, my cousin, and like that was a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
remember
it,
doing
yeah,
that.
I
dude,
just
it's so
played.
much fun playing like that. It's awesome. And then
Yeah, it's
I
like
used to like write it all down into like a journal.
Here's the thing.
too.
I still do that. Like, but like instead of like doing it with like other kids, like I just put it on paper, and then there's a person that guides the quest that goes along with it.
Ah, okay.
That's
Like a
D&D.
second
Dungeon
person?
Dragons. That's Dungeon
Oh,
Dragons.
okay.
D&D.
Wait. I was like, oh, that actually sounds. Yeah, it's D&D.
It's like yeah, because it's a game already. It's called Dungeon Dragons, my guy.
It's like, hold on. Hold on.
Wait a minute. Wait, I just didn't have the attention span for movies back then, because that's when my ADHD was just terrible. It's actually
Okay,
Still
affected
is.
me. It is, but like I have better control over it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so like so anyways, Zathura. So that movie is honestly like one of my favorites. Like that's like one of my favorite movies like growing up.
I don't
like, just
really
the idea of
remember
like
that very
space.
much.
Okay.
It's on Peacock, and I started to rewatch it a little bit, and then I'm like, bro, like this movie kind of sucks.
Okay, I need you to is it okay? The one I'm thinking of that I really like that sounds like it was that it's like they find a board game while the parents are gone, and then
Uh-huh.
they like open
Yeah.
the board game, and then suddenly it
Yeah.
becomes all wacky. There's like horrifying spiders, and then they go into space, and then they have to
Okay,
find
pretty
it.
much.
Like is it that one? Is it that one?
Yeah, it's flying spiders.
Yeah, there's like giant spiders, and then they create evil clones themselves, and like they keep rolling, and like the situation gets worse and worse.
Oh yeah,
And then
that's
eventually they're in
Jumanji.
space.
That's
Oh.
Jumanji.
Okay, that's a small.
And they don't end up in space in that one. I think you're mixing the
They
two
end
movies
up in the
together
jungle.
into one story.
Oh, am I? My bad.
It sounds like it.
Okay, well, I like it. Well, that means I like
Also,
both
there's no
movies a lot.
cloning in either movie, so I don't know where.
Materials
Really?
for
I
all.
swear, there's like that like evil doppelgangers, so like we
You
placed
just
them
have
in
false
the movie.
memories.
Well, there's like.
Yeah, there's
like,
people.
Wow, I completely missed it. Oh, he's actually good. He gets his shots. Holy crap.
Oh, no.
Yeah, have
Your
fun.
worst fear of players is good.
I'm getting shot at. Enemy shield.
Oh, there's a bad.
Okay, not bad. 5 times.
Reloading.
I see him.
Okay. Okay.
Team of
Guy did not hold back.
Oh wait, whoops! I did not know there was no
Oh.
teammate there.
Oh my god.
Nope. There's
Do
definitely
it.
another.
Oh my god, we so.
Hey man. Just happens.
How? Every single time we can't even win an engagement, dude.
Dude, I know.
Well, that's because we're busy being. That's because we're busy podcasting, guys.
Yep, that's the only reason. It's
Yeah,
not
we
because
just
it's
suck
bad.
at video games.
Dude, I don't.
So like, I mean, it's called podcast. It's called podcasting.
Podcast and game at the same time, guys.
Revolutionary idea. No one has ever done it. The weekly stuff doesn't exist. Let's go. Oh my gosh! Okay,
Anyway,
so good news.
I don't know where you're coming from.
I like them both.
This is awkward.
Yeah, I don't. Dude, I swear, one of those
We've
movies,
got a
right?
job to do, so
They like
shit your
the end of the
pants.
game, and then
Suppose we
like
win.
the sister puts the brother to bed, but then the brother turns out to be like an evil doppelganger because the other brother's like gone or something, and like it was like
No.
a cliffhanger type ending. Like what? Was that not one of them?
What?
Dude, I swear.
That's not. I don't
Yeah,
know what
then,
you're thinking
and
of.
then they showed like the spiders from like, the dream sequence or the game sequence still existing. So it's like implied that they didn't actually finish the game and it still continued on. And, like I swear, I
don't
swear, I
I'm the
love
Jump
that ending
Master.
so vividly. 'cause
I
It's
am
like
honored.
that's what I stuck
That's
with
it.
it.
That's-
like,
I don't know what movie you're talking about. That is
Try
not
not to
Jumanji
blink.
or
You may
Zathura.
miss me.
is it not, dude? Okay.
Let me think. What movie could you be thinking of? Because there's some movies where it's similar to that kind of situation. Sci-fi and space spiders.
Actually, I don't even think about the space. I think that's a different movie to think about.
Yeah, that's
I
what
think
I
a
was
movie
thinking, like,
that they're
something
stuck
could
in a mansion
All
and it's
that
like
loot
a
looks heavy.
imagination
Let me
board
help you
game
with
type
that.
thing.
Oh, I know which one you're talking. I know what movie you're talking about.
Charge!
Yeah, that's not Jumanji or Zathura.
Okay, which one is that?
I don't remember.
But I know I watched it for in Jumanji, but like I feel like there's a lot of movies in 15. Like those movies are just really good, but
Attention. The battle happens quick.
okay,
Be
okay.
ready.
Well, what's the name of that movie? Because I actually genuinely want to know
Next ring
and,
spa.
and like rewatch it. I genuinely want to know what that
Okay.
movie was.
Yeah, I think you should just look it up. Oh wait, it could be. Oh no, that's a different one. There's another movie that you could be thinking
Ring's not
of
close, and we've only got 45 seconds.
called. Oh boy. Oh no, that one's pretty sad though. It's like about these two, like guy and a girl, and they go into the forest and like have make believe, and then like the gal like drowns in the river.
It's a bridge to something. Bridge to.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie's
That
so
movie's-
good. I love that movie.
It's depressing though for a kids movie. I'll
Oh,
be
it,
honest.
I remember when I watched that and like, man, dude, I became obsessed like depressing stuff like that. Like that stuff was addicting. It was
Nothing
so
like
fun.
childhood trauma to drive one's creative urge.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, like
All the
dude,
great writers were severely
I
traumatized,
think
don't
my
you know?
favorite part was that the friend died because that's so different and cool. I was like,
God.
no way, like she
You're
drowned.
so evil.
And it's him like coping and I'm like, dude, that's so good. That's so... Oh my gosh.
You're so
That
evil.
movie's so good.
There's a new kill leader.
Okay, so have you guys seen that? I remember watching this movie when I was really young, and I keep like I keep like asking people that I thought I watched it with, and they don't have any memory of it. So I don't know if it was
Okay,
a
hit me with
dream
it,
or
hit me
not.
with it.
But Okay, so
Could be a dream.
fall in the future, right? Fall in the future.
Okay.
There's the government tried experiments to clone people, and they chose like this
Okay.
this woman who's like super strong, athletic person, I guess, with really good genes, and it's like really tolerant to trauma and stuff, and used it to like as a basis to like clone people, and it worked. They made like hundreds and hundreds of clones, but then the project got like something happened to the project, and so they had to shut it down, and they made this like.
Attention, the champion has been
Go on.
eliminated.
Sorry about that.
I hardly knew you.
You alright?
So say that one more time. I missed it because I got interrupted.
You
Wait,
alright? Just
Jeremiah,
gotta, yeah.
Okay, so I was confused why I just stopped talking. I just thought it was like the end of the story because someone came and distracted me. Okay, so anyway, so on the line of like clones, didn't you discover that there's like didn't someone figure out how to clone a sheep?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can clone things.
Yeah, we can
We
definitely
do.
clone stuff.
For medical reasons, we do. We just don't do it on a mass scale for cloning humans because we have no reason to right now. There's almost 8 billion people on the Earth. Why would we want more?
I feel like
Yeah,
someone
that
definitely
makes
has out
sense.
there.
But yeah, like they clone
Okay,
like
well, there-
organs and stuff for medical procedures all the time now.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
well,
seeing
there's
videos.
like
That's cool.
Well, there actually is a movie about that. So like the reason why they create human clones is so that these rich people, like they got human clones of themselves, and the reason why they got human clones of themselves is so that like if their kidney goes bad or something like that, they can just have the exact kidney that they needed. So they can just like kill their clone. And then
That's
just, like-
kind of dark.
Oh, it is. It's super dark.
Like an
Why
organ
not
fall?
just have a
Yeah,
back
literally,
of
like a living
liver
organ.
ready or
But-
kidney or whatever
And
instead
so
of a whole
the
human
movie's
clone.
But the movie is about these clones that learn why they're
That will learn their
why
clones.
they're there.
Oh
and it's about
god.
them breaking it. Yeah.
Actually, something.
Yeah,
So-
that's pretty dark.
Alright, guys.
Anyway, continue your movie description.
Okay, what did you
Cut
hear?
out
What did you hear?
cloning the best women that they could find.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's this blonde, athletic woman, like typical woman, and
Horse.
and like
Mhm.
she's like, and then I guess like the main kid is one of the clones, but they kind of wiped her memory, and so she thinks she's a regular person, until like they kind of seek her out to like go to this mission to go back to the island where she was cloned from, because something went horribly wrong, but they want like the woman to clone people, so they send her there, and like. So like there's a bunch of clones and a bunch of test tubes, like clones with like some odd like mutations on them and stuff, like this like I don't know, different arms or like one arm's missing or they have like a weird face. But then there's like well like it's fine, like they're basic clones. And then but like the main antagonist was like this guy. This guy clone. I guess one of the researchers like saw he was working and tried to clone himself. And this clone just went like crazy. It basically like killed the original guy, instead of like kind of like killing all the other clones of the woman, or like kind of like doing experiments on them to like combine them and stuff. And then so this woman goes to the island to like confront this thing, and then something then my memory gets blurry. But it's like that. Like, it's just a movie. It's movie.
Going this way.
Bunch of clones in this like island, and
Yeah,
one
it
of the
sounds like an adult movie
fucking
that like came
an
out
evil
when,
guy.
when you were a kid. So like I doubted that any of us would have seen it because it sounds really adult and it sounds like it was pretty bad seeing how no one like remembers it.
not
So
a single person remembers it.
You got a rocket ship. Now's the
It's
time to use it.
what was it? But it was weird because like the movie like the woman doesn't no one knew about this like deviant like clone until like it was just like hints of it pretty much. But like she like goes to the lab and there's like a bunch of dead bodies and a bunch of like recordings and stuff.
You're close to going.
And then she gets a one tube that's like filled with blood. And so like she like starts like investigating into it and stuff and then like it appears or something and then something happens and then I can't remember. But I just remember the movie being really eerie and confusing.
We've got a new kill leader.
But no one remembers this movie.
Got some materials, yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, like I said, like saying how no one remembers it sounds like a pretty bad movie.
Probably, yeah, probably. Because I just remember like waking up in the middle of the night and seeing it on the screen. So I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
That's weird. And I fell back
Yeah, it
asleep.
sounds like a mid-tier movie that just ended up playing during the night. That was like on TV, because I've seen a lot of movies like that way. Like, there's some like slap movies that absolutely slap that I've seen that I'm like dialing later that were rated R, but I watched it because it was like on TV, so they censored everything. So like.
Oh yeah. I totally forgot TV does that. Like they take movies and censor stuff.
Sharing is caring.
Not all
Yeah.
the time.
Not all the time,
But
but
yeah,
like,
not all the
there's
time,
one
but
that I
sometimes.
watched. Yeah, there's one movie that I watched called The Blues
few more
Brothers
meters to the
on
ring, and still a
TV,
minute
and
to
like
go.
honestly, it's a comedy about like these two guys, and like I can't remember their. I don't know if they're like they're gangsters or not, but like no, they're not gangsters. Like they're like these jazz musicians for whatever reason, and then they end up like,
Complete
robbing a
opposite.
bank.
2045.
Yeah, I know, like,
Jazz
but here's the
musicians
thing,
robbed a
they-
bank?
If I remember the movie correctly, I just remember like it being really funny. But like they end up robbing a bank for an orphanage, and they have to like cross the entire country to give the orphanage the money, and like while the cops are
30
chasing them.
seconds till ring closure. We're so close.
I also seen that
It was,
movie
it was-
about a bunch of old people that rob a bank. Because they've been scammed
There
out of
is
social
one.
security.
Yeah,
It's
there's
got-
a movie
what's
about
his
that,
name?
and it's
Morgan
based on a
Freeman in
true
it.
story.
Yeah.
That sounds possible.
And it wasn't because like they didn't get any social security. It was just
10
the fact
seconds.
that like
The
they're
ring is close.
retiring and they're like we need like they ran out of money for being veterans. And so
Yeah.
they're like, so I guess social security didn't give them enough.
Yeah, they got scammed out of
Like, yeah.
social security, and they just weren't gonna get any money when they retired, so they robbed a bank.
No, but they didn't just rob a bank. Like they when they say robbed a bank, they robbed a bank. Like they like had an entire heist that like everyone was like super confused how the heck they're even able to do it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
it was
like-
a full-on heist movie.
Well, like the thing that, and it's based on the events that happened in real life. Also, welcome Hot Garbo.
Hello?
Hot Garbo. Today
They
we are
call me
doing a
Garbo.
podcast.
Huh, Garbo.
Have you guys seen the poster being a wallflower?
It was the violin.
I'm the
track
sound
there.
guy.
Sound.
I'm gonna mess around on my musical instrument during our podcast.
Sounds like fun.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so our podcast is called Podcast While Gaming, and so essentially we play video games while talking about random mundane crap, sometimes political, which we hit on a little bit earlier.
Nice.
Not gonna lie, on accident.
Let's try it.
And we're gonna try our best not to do that.
Oh,
'cause we're just
crap,
here to
let's
talk
see.
about fun.
Hey guys, what do you think of
No,
Let's-
no,
no, I think
no,
of
no.
Kidding. So are you guys not against?
I'm against your rights
What's up?
specifically. You are way too Jeremiah.
My right to speak or anything.
If I had the choice,
Vilger, if I were to
Have you
play a
guys-
song, will you get copyright strike?
probably not, because no one's gonna watch this, and we're not. And even if we do get copyright claimed, like
It's not gonna
they
matter.
can't.
Not like they're making
I'm
money
not
off
making.
this.
I'm not
Yeah.
making any money off of it anyway.
Yeah,
So it's like-
Gotcha,
it doesn't
gotcha.
matter.
It's fine. Like, dude, play to your heart's content. And technically, we could call it parody if we don't sing.
You guys got
So if you play like if you play like like Timber, but like if we don't sing Timber like the words, like we just come up with random words behind it, it would count as parody, and they can't copyright strike me.
Bro.
So
any requests?
So have you guys seen?
play
Oh, play Timber.
yeah, play Timber.
Bro, what the
Play
heck?
Kesha.
My who?
Kesha.
Kesha.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, the lady that sings Timber.
This will be my first time of hearing it, so let's go.
Is it the one that goes da da?
Never heard of it.
I probably have. I don't remember.
You probably.
Da 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 da.
It was quite a hit.
I'm being summoned to this
Really
game.
Oh, there's people to the left over here, by the way, just shooting.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, look at that. They're way over there. That's
Oh,
what's
yes I
up.
have. I heard it. Never mind.
I'm calling waffles. I'm gonna dance.
Yeah, that's a really
and make you
popular song.
cry.
Alright, so have you guys seen The Book of Henry?
The Book of Henry.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad movie. Don't watch it. I just want to talk about that.
Sounds like a pretty bad movie.
I don't like it. Just I don't know. So the main character of the movie straight up dies halfway through the movie and gets his place. Oh no, it's just like the way the
Play weird one. I don't want.
Yeah, great. The healer got down. Oh shoot.
Come res me.
Ciao, Reggie.
I'm about to get in. I'm not
I got
gonna
him. I
lie.
got him.
Hold on.
Let me help you.
Yo, on the bell.
I dance in the
Oh crap, that's bad. No, no, heal. Alright, I'm dead. I'm dead. Do you have a heat shield? No, we lost.
Oh! Guess it's time to leave. It's time to preemptively leave.
So, we're going to, what should we talk about now? We went from bad movies to good movies, from reading,
On the topic of
from
movies.
cheese.
So last movie, and there was a movie that I vaguely remember watching in the living room one day. It was about aliens, of course, and
Okay.
it was like I remember one like very vague details about the movie, so it's gonna be a bad description of it. But
Okay.
it was this like it was a guy and there was a girl, and they were partners in trying to solve the mysteries of something. They both saw some alien like flash or something. I don't know. Kind of gave me X-Files vibes now that I think about it, but it wasn't X-Files. But anyway,
You can talk while pressing Y.
I am not in the room. So, but
Okay,
one
continue.
specific scene I remember was like, so there were these two independent researchers, and they were trying to get to like ground zero of where they saw the UFO land or whatever. And it was like a mountain, I'm pretty sure. And of course,
Okay.
the government already knew about it, so they were already set up there. But they were trying to expose, like, government was trying to hide it all, of course. But these two researchers were like, oh, we know government's hiding it. Anyway, one specific scene, they were in a truck, and they were driving closer to the mountain, and they had this, like, pigeon in the cart with them in a little cage, and because they were driving towards a volcano, that's right, because the UFO like crash landed in the volcano, and then the government evacuated the area saying the volcano was about to explode. And then something about like gas in the air, like fumes from the volcano. But they were actually like, it wasn't volcano fumes, it was like alien fumes. And
Like the thoughts? Like
no, it was like some sort of a gas that the UFO was emitting or something. But everyone else was too afraid to go near it because they thought, oh, the ash from the volcano is gonna kill us. But these two people knew that it actually somehow wasn't deadly to humans, but the government was just saying it was. So they had a bird with them in the car, and as they were driving close to the volcano, which is posing no threat for some reason, the bird died in the car.
Okay.
And that's all I remember.
that sounds pretty interesting, actually.
Just a very
I've
vivid
no doubt
scene
that
of these
movie is.
two people in a car driving towards a volcano. That was where an alien UFO had landed, and the bird just died. They died from the gas in the air, like the fumes or whatever. And that's it. That's it. That's all I got.
So, well, that's weird. It's like kind of like, have you guys heard of the movie The Birds?
No.
Sounds familiar, but I have no idea what it is.
Dude, it is
Bird Box?
one of the worst CGI
Bird
movies
Box?
I have ever seen in my life. Holy crap, man. Like the acting is subpar at best. Like holy man. Like just look up The Birds and then just watch
I don't want to.
50-second clips and it's bad. It's bad.
Really got an ad? Bad sign.
I love it.
Menacing.
Play Spider Dance. Do it.
I
Bet
can't,
you
it's
won't.
so fast. Like, hold on. I can try, but I'm not used to it. It's so weird. Not used to it playing on this.
Okay, I'm
got
cutting
that.
up a pork chop. So what do you guys think about pork chops?
Okay, pretty good.
I love pork chop.
I think honestly, for meat product, subpar.
Subpar? Yeah,
What?
okay.
There are better meat cuts of meat.
There are. I'll agree
There are
with that.
way better cuts. Like like if we're gonna talk, if we're talking about like all meat in general, I'd say that beef is the best meat out of the meat category.
Oh yeah.
You know, you
Beef
got
and steak
yourself
are
a
always the
delicious.
best.
You got steak, you got ribs, you got burgers, you got
Yeah.
brisket. Oh boy, dude,
It's
Lamb.
so
every,
versatile.
dude, you got everything's on the. Did you say lamb?
Yeah. Do you eat lamb?
I've had it.
No, never had it.
Dude, it's good.
Pretty good.
It's really good.
It's like Stop. It's like
Yeah, no,
what's
it's
it like?
mentally
I
blocked.
can't
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
because of that music.
Uh-huh.
It's like beef but more tender.
Oh, it's like
So it's like more
beef.
chewy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So
though.
good.
I'm just gonna cause
good.
as much disruption as I can.
Like I had it first in what's it
I
called?
respect that though.
Diner? I forgot what it's called. It's like a German sandwich with lamb and like this like
a German
pita bread
sandwich.
and like a yogurt sauce on top. It's really good. It's really good. Like that's
See,
the
if
point.
I had to rank like meat, I think for me it would be beef, chicken, and then pork. But
Dude, chicken's last.
Chicken,
I put chicken all
is
the way
the
last.
best. I will die for chicken any day of the
Oh,
week.
dude. I only like chicken with
You
deep
guys don't
fried or
understand how much I
something.
love chicken.
Dude,
Y'all
Dude,
want to
like-
get me on about something? Talk about chicken.
Dude,
Love
okay,
chicken
dude.
sucks.
It's so
It's only good as
good.
chicken
Hey,
wings.
it
Oh,
is
it's
perfect.
Hey,
both.
hey, challenge.
What?
Challenge. Play the SpongeBob one, like the chaotic SpongeBob song,
Yeah.
where it's like.
you know that one.
I've
Without
never watched
sauce?
SpongeBob.
This terrace.
Just look up chaotic SpongeBob music.
Guys.
It's amazing. We heard you say that. I'm saying it again.
I think so. Here's the thing: chicken is extremely versatile in like all things,
It
but I
is.
think that beef is just better though.
No.
Like because like it's hard to prepare.
Beef is
I understand
better.
that, but it just tastes better like in the long run. I'd say like chicken is pretty versatile. You got yourself
Chicken is
chicken nuggets,
easy
you
to
got
make,
chicken
easy
tenders,
to
you got
cook.
chicken wings, you
You
got
can
deep
have it
fried
with
chicken,
anything.
you
You
got
can
chicken fried
literally
chicken,
make
you
it
got
into like 20,000 different meals.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
what I'm saying,
beef is
like, it's
constantly
very versatile.
always good. Chicken?
And it's always
you
good.
Sometimes chicken's trash. Like I've had just
Chicken,
white breast chicken.
Chicken
Hell.
is always good.
yeah.
No.
White-breasted chicken is absolutely disgusting.
When I ate that, it ruined chicken for
That's
forever.
because y'all don't cook it, right?
Dude,
But like I said, like you know, but like I do agree with Matisse. Like it's extremely versatile, and you get so many different options just from a single animal, and it is super impressive.
It's insane.
But cows, but cow though, cow is just like on another level entirely though. In like just terms of like it's more complex to prepare, but like when it comes out, it's just way better tasting.
Cows
Yeah.
are
It's
very
so much
good.
more enjoyable. Like, dude, a good steak, delicious.
so good.
Brisket, dude, brisket.
To die for. To die for.
Ah, dude, brisket is like the cat's pajamas. You know, like when it comes
Beef
to like,
McGregor?
when
What's
it
that
comes to
analogy?
Beef bulgogi, dude?
cat's pajamas. Have you not heard of that?
Oh, no.
Try the 50s,
Ow.
my guy.
How do you not know that?
50s.
You
I'm
not
not
know
that
that.
old,
These are all the time in elementary school.
It's not the 50s anymore. Just be relevant to the boomers and say cows are
Dude,
lit.
Like, we saw this stuff like in elementary school all the time.
So I was kind of thinking about something real quick, just like it just like came into the top of my head, and then music happened, and then I thought about Star Wars, so it just went out the window. Dang it.
Anyway.
Okay, so I was thinking about this. So we're gonna loop back around to literature real quick, and like I was thinking about like when it comes to literature, like so you know how Shakespeare tends to be really hard to understand, and when we read it, we're like, you know, this is difficult. But could you imagine being Shakespeare and like trying to read like emojis and texts that we now use today to communicate to each other?
Dude, Shakespeare
Right,
would be
it'd be
so
like-
hard.
Trying to read anything
Yeah, exactly.
from a modern day
exactly.
I
sense
struggle.
and not
I struggle
knowing
with
the
reading
times,
emojis and stuff, dude.
It's
Yeah,
impossible.
there you go, and that's the exact same thing that's happening for us when we're trying to read Shakespeare. It's back and forth. It's just a different time and a different dialect, and that's what makes it
I
hard
think
to
it's
understand.
I think it's also because like Shakespeare stuff is meant to be like hard. It's like because when you hear a play, it makes sense.
That's
But
true.
when you read it, it's like so much harder. Like it's
Yeah,
supposed to be like a
because like when you have a play, right? It's just a bunch of lines, and you kind of have to create the setting by yourself when you read it. Compared to a book, wherein like they're gonna say that this is what it looks like, and then they put the dialogue within that, so you can see it happening. Compared to a play, where it's like, you know, it's all betrayed by the characters. Also,
Exactly.
You're freaking stuck. We're supposed to be gaming right now. It's called podcast while gaming, but you're just
yeah, not podcast.
some
Just staring at the living screen.
Use some of the clips you got earlier. I'm literally
Oh my
cutting and
gosh.
eating a pork chop. I don't care.
Song
Oh my
break.
gosh,
Da,
dude.
da, da,
I'll fix this problem.
da, 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 da. Very emotional sad
You
song.
leave the lobby.
Let's
Spring.
go.
You left the lobby, didn't you? I heard that.
Oh no, dude, we didn't leave the lobby. We didn't leave.
You
We're
left the
right
lobby.
here. Oh, yeah,
You guys are making
lying.
it. You guys are talking in that tone of voice that tells me you're lying.
No, man, I'm
That's
just,
not true.
you know,
No.
sitting here.
I know
waiting.
your
I'm really
voice
mad
is
about it.
looking
I don't know why
Waiting
you're not
lobby. Yeah,
loading
Oh.
in. It's crazy. I'm so mad about it.
Yeah,
Hey, you
we're just sitting here, man.
Yeah, dude, sitting
Hey,
there,
you're gonna-
really bored. Oh man, I wish
No,
it would load it.
if you're gonna eat here, it's fine. You can. Enjoy
I'm not
the
even
food
eating
me
it.
and
I'm
Jeremiah-
literally just cutting it.
Okay, well, like that like makes me even more troubled. The fact that you haven't even started eating yet, and we're still sitting and watching the stream.
Yo, I
So
can
you can
eat
sit
a
there and
game.
enjoy
I
your
just
food.
can't cut a game. Give me a minute.
All right. Well,
Dude, Fahrenheit 451, like that book we read in middle school, was definitely a really
by
fun
the way, I've
book.
never read it.
Oh, it's about
Okay,
this.
what is it about?
I know a little bit about it. But
Go ahead,
Jeremiah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
It's
you
about
go
this
ahead.
Slap
super
it down with the literature.
futuristic society where they decide reading is bannable and evil and no one should be able to read. And so they have
So
like
they
this
burn the books.
bunch of
Not-
robots and stuff.
You know, I
And
don't
ba-
take myself too seriously.
Yep, basically. There are a bunch of robots and stuff to program, and they kind of like have much technology and TVs and they blast you with misinformation and and stuff. You have no books to
So they
explain
want you
anything.
to,
No books?
pay for
And then there's a-
subscription, right, Spencer? I'm sorry. No, hold on.
And then there's the firefighters whose
bring yourself
entire
down.
job is finding books and burning the house, the people, and the books. So there's no more books being spread. Because like, books are like a gateway for you to like start thinking, I guess.
Books
To,
are
like,
evil.
actually
Yeah,
think.
no, that's so
Books
true.
are
That's
not.
so
And
true.
so,
Life is meant
yeah,
to
exactly.
die.
And so like,
And we don't want people to
so
have knowledge,
without
so
books
thinking
being like,
themselves.
allowed, it's way easier for them to like, you know, control you.
To control knowledge, yeah.
And control your reality. It's great.
Well, like,
And-
Well, it's not
like,
great,
really
but
the reason, like, if you notice that the Enlightenment actually came around like after people started
Y'all
to
left the
read,
party.
and reading
Or not the
and
party
reading
lobby,
came
whatever.
around. And reading came around with what you call. I'm trying to remember. So the Enlightenment came after the publishing of the Bible. So once the Bible became published and available to the public, people were able to start reading, learn to read by listening to pastors read from the Bible, and then they listened and they read what was on the page, and then that's when they learned. They taught themselves to read, and then only a few years later, that's when the Enlightenment actually started to happen.
After people learned how to freaking read.
After people learn how to read,
Yep.
so like that is totally true. You know, like knowledge really is power. and like that's really something that's really being controlled right now by like social media and stuff like that. Is like the use of misinformation in media and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk about
Don't
the
even get me
specifics
started
because we're
on canceling.
It's fake
avoiding
news.
The idea of
It literally is, Mitty. Just
It's fake news.
constantly. Dude.
I love how that's a thing. Like, not ironically.
No, it's just real.
It's just a
But
thing.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, no, but it really is cautionary though, like to really see like how important the control of knowledge is. I mean, that's how dictators stay in power, is by the control of knowledge into their country. I mean, like look at China, like in North Korea,
crap, did y'all know
they don't
there's
allow any
pyramids in
social
China?
media. Yeah,
Yeah.
how'd you not?
I have no idea what you said.
I actually like just learned about this a few months ago. There's pyramids in China, but people legit don't know about it. Because the government has covered it up and put like natural looking landscape over them. Like tarps and stuff. But like the pyramids in Mexico, like the Aztec pyramids and stuff,
Yeah.
they kinda look like that.
Yeah, and they're like
But
buried.
a bunch
China,
of people
yeah.
even outside China don't know about it.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you were
it
talking
always goes
about
back to that
covering
control.
knowledge as a dictator, and that brought to mind.
Oh yeah, so like
love
so
China.
like dictators, like that's how you control your
love
people,
China.
by controlling the use of knowledge. I mean, like if your people aren't smart enough to think for themselves, they'll never think that they're in poverty. So so that's why a lot of like societies really hate, and that's why that's why education is so it's so increasingly important. But that's another thing why the media is like a lot of competing political parties, like they fight over what's being taught in schools, because what is being taught in schools will affect like who's going to end up being voted on and who's going to have political power.
Yeah.
So that's like
Which is why,
it's
pretty
extremely-
intimidated by politics. Because I feel like each side
Yeah.
just constantly lies to me, so I just don't. I just don't know what to think
This is
anymore.
so true.
You're not wrong.
And like that's really the thing with all here's the thing, like
It's all
no matter
lies.
what you think it's all lies. All politicians are corrupt. I don't care what side
Yep,
you're on.
every single one.
Every
You're
single
like a
one.
third
single one
party
is
or
corrupt.
something.
That's why I
Every,
ignore it.
Even a third party.
Exactly.
Everyone is corrupt. Like to be in politics is to be corrupt.
Exactly.
There's some good. Don't get me wrong. There's some people who are some pretty good, who have done good things and are doing some good things. But to get there, they probably had to do some pretty.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's why last time we were talking about like if you're in politics, you just definitely corrupt. Like no way. Just to like become a powerful politician, you have to do some terrible things to get there. Some corrupt.
It just doesn't. It's just something that is fundamentally wrong in our society, and it makes it hard to fix.
Exactly.
Especially when literally everyone is corrupt and every politician going in is corrupt.
Exactly. And plus, like, because politicians have so much power, like, there's no way to not be corrupt going in. Because you have to be
Yeah.
corrupt. They just won't let you in.
And the problem is, what are you gonna do about it? Freaking nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have too much money. We can't do
You
anything
literally
about
can't
it.
do anything.
Except, I don't know, maybe
All you
kill
have to do is
myself or something.
I mean, like, really. We really want to do our best to keep the power to the voters.
Yeah.
Let them make their own decisions.
But the voters make
so
dumb
hard.
decisions.
Because they're constantly
can.
spoon-fed just misinformation all the time. It's so hard.
Yeah, like it's so true.
It's like finding
even,
a way to
like I said,
avoid
both sides of the spectrum. Both sides are being both sides are feeding are feeding absolute garbage. I'm not gonna say what this is. I don't. Keep your politics to yourself. That's why we're like leaving names out of the because this is a podcast.
We're not
We're
gonna
supposed
say
to
it.
discuss points, so we're leaving names out of this particular discussion because we don't want to cause problems. But we're saying, if you honestly just look, like just do your research for a little bit, like just if you honestly look and then go through every single article that you can find on any, like, no matter whether it's a Republican news site or it's a Democratic news site, you need to do your research on your own to find out like what's actually going on. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna go into a Republican news, like they're gonna paint the Democrats to be the bad guys. If you read Democratic news, they're gonna paint the Republicans to be the bad guys. So meaning to fix the problem, you have to be able to. You actually have to listen to both sides of the news. That's the only way to really find the truth, is by taking both extremes and then finding a middle from the competing opinions. That's what I've been doing, really, is like you need to really know your enemy you know, you have to know to know your enemy. You have to know yourself. But at the same time, you also have to study your enemy and know what they're talking about.
Which is something I completely agree with, because like usually when I try to find like arguments against something, I always first look at the opposing side and see like what they think and stuff.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is kind of a rabbit hole all the time. Because like there's a time where I was like, oh, I hate witchcraft. It's like witchcraft is straight up cringe, and so I spent hours and hours and days researching about witchcraft.
I remember when you
like
came to me that one day, like, dude, witchcraft is so stupid.
Dude, I couldn't, dude, that's so flip-flop. I couldn't even like study it.
So
because,
it was so funny
like,
because you just went in a rant
gosh.
for like 20 minutes.
Alright. So
Dude,
this is
so
podcast. Interesting topic. Hit us with it. You're an expert in witchcraft. Hit us with it.
Half the squad.
Okay, so witchcraft, right?
Oh,
There's
boy.
so many different things, but the main basis of witchcraft is intentions. That's the main thing, intentions. Without any restriction, what is your intention? And you can make anything your altar, your witchcraft spell, anything. You can make a kitchen your altar. You can make blood your altar. You can make cooking your altar. You can make.
Okay, what is an altering?
Altar is like your source of worship, pretty much. Like you're focusing.
Okay.
Like the item where you focus your intentions into to make things into reality, like tarot cards and stuff.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So you pretty much you connect with an item, and you use that item to enhance your intention to manifest what you want into the world. But the stupidest thing is that like evidence of using witchcraft is the dumbest stuff. Like you could be like, I think it's gonna rain now, and it rains. You're like, well, that's because my witchcraft. Like no, it's because the weather, because it still exists. Or they're like, oh man, I can sense that I'm gonna fail this test. It's because my intentions is that I'm gonna fail this test. I guess I'm gonna fail the test now because of witchcraft. Like no, dude, it's because you went into it believing you're gonna fail the test. So it's stupid. It's stupid stuff. Like it's like complete confirmation bias. It's like there's no like sufficient evidence to it. And like when I researched into like stuff on how to get started in witchcraft, like people like log big names in the community, or like you can't you have to find your own path. No path is correct. So if it doesn't work for you, it's because it's wasn't your path.
Only 30 seconds left on the clock.
You can't have like a belief system.
Hold up behind you. Let me get out of here. Get out of here. Oh shoot.
Oh gosh. Dude, and there was more. I have like an entire journal thinking about witchcraft and stuff. And here, let me.
Close. 10 seconds.
Let me go dig up that.
Yeah, let me go.
So you're like,
dig up that journal.
you're
real
like,
quick.
I wrote a whole paper on witchcraft.
It was just a couple paragraphs, but it sucked because I was really trying to get into it because I was like, I gotta keep an open mind because I can't criticize something I don't try to understand. But yes, I can. Yes, I can. Oh my gosh. What was it? Okay.
Holy crap! Holy crap! Holy crap!
Oh. Let's see.
Incoming care package. I love it.
Even through reading that blog, I can feel like
no way.
I can feel my life getting drained away. I was just writing this. Oh gosh, what was it?
I'm in the lobby.
You love it? Okay. Maybe. Yeah, it's just dumb stuff. It's like confirmation bias type stuff. Like
Wait, where'd
you
save it?
can't.
Did you save it on like a Google Drive?
No, I got like the notes app.
No, it's in a
on
physical
iPhones.
journal.
No, that's
Just
not.
like, dude, isn't there like a search? Isn't there like a search bar you can?
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
looked it up.
put in
It
witchcraft?
doesn't really say much. It was just me like going over like when looked up I made the entry when I was still like really trying to like keep an open mind. So I'm like, okay, so what was it? So I wrote this different witches, there's celestial witches, there's kitchen witches, green witches, woodland witches.
There's like kitchen witches?
Yeah.
There's kitchen witches?
It's kitchen witches, and I gotta be careful of
Like, hold
close
up,
magic, and I gotta And then I wrote you that. I wrote it and this is the answer. No, I'm giving up. It's LARPing. It's LARPing in real life. I can't do it. I can't. Oh god. Because like you can't. There's no clear path, right? Like that's how they trap you. There's no clear path. The only clear thing about it is you focus your energy in like an altar. Focus your intention in altar and it does magic, pretty much. So like you go outside and you pick random berries you smush it together and you make it a jam that gives you good luck. And then you have good luck now. Oh, and like if you fell at something, like that means you didn't put enough intentions, and when you succeed, that means you put the right amount of intentions. So it's like you can't disprove it because they can always just say, well, you just didn't try hard enough. And then when it succeeds, you tried hard enough now. So,
Okay, I see.
it's just oh my god.
Yeah, no, like totally, like that's like it's actually like a con.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's terrible. It's oh gosh.
That's so interesting though. I didn't like. So are people like the stuff that you read? Is that like from like a?
I went to Reddit, Quora, YouTube.
Oh my god,
Instagram.
man. Reddit and Quora.
Yeah.
Those were his sources.
And then
No wonder he
different
was so
websites
confused.
too, and Google, and then. But there's a huge like
A
community.
funniest place though, because the stories and the questions that people ask are so stupid. It's honestly one of the funniest websites you can go on. Like if you want a good time, just go into Quora and just look at some of the random questions. And they're so dumb.
I saw one question.
And then there's like people
was, like,
answering them, like with good answers, but treating them saying like you're dumb for asking this. It's an obvious answer.
But they explain it.
Oh,
Yeah,
on
they
the
explain it
questions
anyway,
stuff.
but they do it in such a condescending tone through their writing. It's so good.
Well, I got like, I looked through Quora and like one of the questions like, hey, is it morally wrong for me to is it morally wrong for me to stop dating my wife's sister? At
Yeah.
the same time, I'm like, yes.
At the same time, I'm dating her. Yeah, it's something stupid like that. Like, why would you even have to ask that?
Just stop that.
That's the kind of stuff you find on Quora. It's amazing. I love it. And I'll get lost in it for like an hour just reading everything.
Dude, yeah, Quora Reddit's just a rabbit hole. But I got most of my information from YouTube and reading the comments and like people reply. Like one of them was like 72 years old apparently. And he was talking, so he wrote like his entire life story of his witchcraft journey and how it's like it's so true. I kept trying to like read these witchcraft books, but they weren't working. But I realized I just had to make my own witchcraft book. And then my magic started manifesting. Like I got a wife because of my intentions. I'm like, bro, shut up.
It's like, bro, that's how anyone gets a wife is their intentions.
It's not what you saying, man. It's like it's like astrology, dude. Oh my gosh. I just can't take it.
Okay, so what initially got you to like do like research into witchcraft? Like I'm curious, like what like led you down that route?
I was watching a lo-fi playlist called Lo-Fi for Witches. And I was reading the comments, and I thought people were role-playing. I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're doing little role-plays and stuff. And someone commented like, finally, I'm so tired of all these fake witches in the chat. And people are like, yeah, I know, dude. But we witches need to rise up. We've been suppressed by the government. I'm like, what? Wait, this guy's being genuine? And like, I click in the videos, and they post a guide to the like magic and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is so dumb. This is so stupid. And so someone of the commented like, you guys literally LARPing in real life. And this guy's like, it's like, oh yeah, what? Have you ever tried witchcraft, huh? Have you ever tried to keep an open mind? No, you haven't. That's why you don't know what it is because you're so ignorant. And I was like, what? No, I'm gonna research into it and become non-ignorant, quote unquote, and still argue with them. But I couldn't even do that because there's
no way to argue it.
Yeah, there's nothing to even research about, dude. It's a bunch of contradicting nonsense. Oh my god. Oh.
We need to go back to that page and like just start a debate in the comments for fun.
It's not
With your
winning.
intimate knowledge of witchcraft.
This is so delusional now. I can't.
That's actually like really interesting to me that people like you wouldn't think that people would actually believe this like nowadays in like the society that we have,
But the good thing from that is that now I have more inspiration for my magic systems, so that's fun.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I can figure stuff out.
Oh.
It's literally like laughing in real life. Like it's cool, the systems we got, but it's like not real.
There, you drop down, you're good.
Nice.
Oh
no! Look at another squad coming in.
Oh crap.
Hey Jeremiah, where are you?
I'm up upstairs. I can go down if you want me to.
Fine,
Yeah, I probably should have healed.
Oh please. Oh no.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Oh, me too.
No.
I don't have any
Why?
reserve ammo.
Why?
I don't have any ammo. Oh no. Alright, check it.
Yeah.
Save you
Get the
guys.
banners and leave.
Yeah, so the witchcraft thing is kind of the same story of how I got like really attached to the LGBT community.
Got this. Oh.
I didn't have
Yeah, so now you have so now you've gone your journey of witchcraft and you understand for certain that it is fake.
Yep, I just simply know. I mean, I guess I can try and read the ancient books they recommended to me, but I don't feel like it. I don't feel like reading that. It's like
I mean, like even
it's
like
an unknown
even like,
language.
and you're totally right though, like the fact that like they're contradictory of themselves because you have that one guy where he's like, I read the books, but they didn't work for me, so I had to write my own book. And, it's like literally, it's like
Yeah, but
by
that's
not even
like
saying
that's
that, it's
literally
even reading the books is
suggested by like
useless.
all the witchcrafters or the witches in the community. They all say that the best way to do it is figure it out on your own. Like they say you should not read a book.
It's so weird.
That's like the top big guys are like, yeah, I've been doing this for 50 years. My biggest mistake was trying to read a book. Oh my god! I'm like, oh really? Really? So your biggest mistake was on the loan. I get it. That's crazy.
So I guess I'm screwed then, okay.
That's almost like, that's almost like it's a completely made up thing. Based off your imagination, but almost. It's crazy.
You see my lucky magnet foot? I slayed it with my own fingers, and because I believed it became lucky. I'll give you a nickel for it.
Oh my god. It's so I don't
nothing
get it,
personal.
man.
Maybe we'll be friends
These
next
people,
time.
they're just living like this, just chilling, and I just don't know how to feel. I guess like I should be happy that they found something that they enjoy, but at the same time, I'm like, how?
You're kind of like you're kind of depressed because there's people that are like disagree.
I just don't get it. I simply don't get it. Like how they come to this conclusion on their own, and how the community is slowly rising. Slowly more witches. Do you know that? It's been on the rise since like the 1980s. It's
I'm dead.
gone crazy.
Get him, Matisse. Get him.
And I think there's like a massive boost in population of witches. Like, what was it? Since 2016? I think?
Behind you, Matisse. Behind you, Matisse.
Ooh, that's not good.
Get him.
Gonna shut you up. Taking fire. Down one. Rings far. 45 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Sound
And they'll
another.
pick you up.
You're better off dead, but I could use the cover.
Alright, defend us while I pick him up.
On your feet, darling. Plenty of fight left in you.
I don't even have a weapon.
Dude, where did the team go? He just
I have no idea.
disappeared. I saw him, and then just like watched him run away.
That heart, darling.
Yeah, so that was incredibly angry for me. Because usually like
Sounds a little bit
I can
aggravating.
understand how someone can get to that point of view, but like this